Friday Night Live yet again here, folks. Here we are. Good evening and welcome yet again to a fantastic episode here with the Page crew. And do we have a show for you this evening? Joining me yet again, I'm Phil, the Director of Operations for the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. And with me this evening is Jen, Ed, and Ron. How are we doing, folks?
I'm doing okay. I'm in Las Vegas for my real job, and so the studio is inside the hotel room at the Horseshoe.
The background you have there, I don't know if that's like a padded, bedhead or behind you there, like a white.
He's
like
in the bathroom. It's
is it in the bathroom? Is he, Ed?
No, it's a padded bedhead. Yes.
In Las Vegas, a padded. Oh, okay.
I'm sure it's never gotten any use, Phil.
No.
The first room I was in, there was water pouring out of the ceiling in the foyer this morning when I woke up. So I had to be hastily moved to another room, which was very unfortunate.
Great. Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Must be all the rain they get there in Nevada there.
The thing is, I rarely ever unpack my clothes. I usually just live out of the suitcase. Mm-hmm. But I unpacked the clothes, I hung them up, I put the, underwear in my socks and drawers and all this, and then I had to pack it all back up again. It was brutal.
Figures.
Yeah. Terrible. Well, those of us that are not in Las Vegas right now, Jen and Ed, what's going on on your realms?
Well, I just recorded a new video last night, and so we're editing it now, and it should be out at the end of August. And I also have been working on my page panel, and that's coming along nicely. So we
like the sound of that.
Yeah,
sounds great.
It's going good. Yep.
Now, is it a panel or a seminar?
Sorry, I meant seminar.
Yep.
I think he's busting your chops a little bit.
I know. It is a seminar.
Yeah. Ed, I think you're down. I think you were down earlier today at CatFest, were you not?
Well, CatFest isn't until tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
I did have dinner with Justin and Chet, and some other folks and everything, and we had a nice time. I'm very full. I left dinner a little early so I could get back in time. But yeah, CatFest is going to be from noon to 9 tomorrow down at the brewery. Trying to remember the name of the Peabody, or I believe.
Yeah. Peabody Heights, I think.
Yeah, and it's a very cool location. There's a old school arcade in there. There's going to be a bunch of vendors and artists and things, and there's this really cool sort of automat like place across the street where you can get food. So I'm planning on going down around lunchtime. We've got a bunch of people who are going to be handing out palm cards for Page, but mostly to go down and support local artists. This is a thing that Justin put together, Justin Sorois. He also does Game Face Con, which several of us went to. And other than that, I've just been trying to make some headway on painting miniatures and playing around with my 3D printer. I did a funny little experiment this week, creating this for my 3D printer. It's if you can't tell, it's our Phil E Cheesesteak logo, kind of done slightly 3D.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's kind of a fun little thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have an announcement closer to the convention about some pretty cool stuff we're going to be doing with some of Ed's creations at the convention. So everybody should stay tuned for that. And our guests tonight are waiting patiently in the back.
They are, yes.
Looks like we've got Ed Lopez in the audience, and Scott Bombeck, Troy Ullman from Cannibal Publishing, Leo Gerard. He says it could be a page inspiration coin. Look at that.
Interesting. Yes, maybe. But to your point, Ron, why don't we bring in our two guests this evening? We have two very interesting guests tonight. We're going to be joined tonight by Tony Winslow Brill. And there's Tony. Hello.
And we're going to bring on Mike Nistel in a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, Mike Nistel will be joining us in just a bit as well. But here we are with Tony. Tony, good evening.
Hi. How are you guys all doing?
I'm good. But yeah, so thanks for joining us this evening. You will be one of our guests at Page 3. You'll be joining us in January for the con, and we are ever so excited to have you. For those that may perhaps be a little unfamiliar with your background in the RPG industry, why don't you give us your background and what you're currently working on? And I know before we started the show, we talked about some things that are on the horizon for you that sound super exciting. We want to hear about those as well.
No problem. I'm really excited to go to Page. I actually had been hearing pretty good things about it your first 2 years, so I was already like, well, I have a friend who's not too far from there, who apparently Ron knows. So I'm supposed to tell you hi from Joe Cirillo. But
Joe Cirillo.
Yeah.
Are you dragging him down to this?
Yes, I am.
Well, I've known Joe for 35 years, maybe 30 years. I've known him a long time. Yeah. I was upset because he hasn't come to the convention. So I was like, well, Joe, what's going on? But
because we haven't invited Tony yet. That's why.
That's right. Now, I bullied him into it, basically. So
good job. I'm going to send you a list of names. We need some other bullying to happen.
I'll work on it.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. No, I have been doing various RPGs for a very long time. I actually got my start during the Living Greyhawk days. So I did a bunch of writing and work there.
You cannot be that.
I am older than I look, so I'm going to go with it. Yes.
I got to do a bunch of stuff with Living Greyhawk when I was working at TSR and Wizards, so even that is a foggy memory for me. You've been doing this a while.
It was quite some time.
Yeah.
But I I'm one of the administrators for Adventures League, for Wizards Adventures League, and for the new Legends of Greyhawk. I also do a bunch of freelance writing and editing. I have done lots of different things through lots of different ways, but to pair it out more recently, I was on Candlekeep Mysteries, which was for Wizards of the Coast. I was the end adventure, so that was kind of fun. And then I have worked for a bunch of different companies. I've done a couple things for Ghostfire Games, Just Steven Games. What Phil was alluding to is I was a writer and editor for Legends of Evantris's Crooked Moon. So that was fun. And then I also am a writer on MCDM's Draw Steel, both of which just sent their PDFs out for their Kickstarter backers, and the book should follow very shortly. So
I know I got my PDFs. I guess it was over Gen Con when the emails went out. So it's like I had to wait till I came home in order to download them. And I'm like very, very, very organized in certain aspects of my life and somewhat disorganized in other aspects of my life. But my Google Drive, where all my RPG PDFs are ridiculously well organized. And I get discomfort and stress and anxiety if I can't have those folders paired up well with my email that comes across through Gmail. But congratulations on that, because that looks super, super cool. I've started to work my way through the PDFs myself. What part of Draw Steel were you specifically associated with?
So I did lots of different pieces parts, and there are also some pieces parts that didn't make it into those particular books. I did I did an adventure, and I did the backgrounds and their inciting incidences and different things. So a project like that, it's kind of here get to do this, try this stuff. So I they had we did quite a bit actually. So
I'm going to throw this out there. So James Introcaso lives in New Jersey.
Yes, he's a very nice guy.
Okay.
Oh, you would like me to ask him if he would go? It took me a second.
I was wondering where we were going with that.
No,
listen, add him to the bullying list. How about that?
Add James to the bullying list. Yes, because I reached out to him last year and I didn't get anything back. But like if we have a direct line of contact, since he lives in I think Cherry Hill, which is literally like a stone's throw from where we are, that'd be fantastic. So
nice. Well, I chatted with him today about mystery things that I can't totally tell you all about yet.
But mystery thing.
For Tony, I've been looking forward to this because I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
I'll try and do them one at a time. Other people talk as well. No, I think they're all pretty good. We've already established you and I have worked on some stuff that has crossed paths back in the day. But a couple of things. I played your Candlekeep mystery adventure. Great friend of mine, Rory Fitzgerald, ran it. He's going to be a DM at Page. He did a nice job, at least I think so, and I enjoyed it. And recently I was looking for some adventures to run, and I came upon your Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, which I do not have yet, but I have a feeling I'm going to because I was looking into it. Looks like it'd be a lot of fun. And the old original Expedition from the Barrier Peaks, I have actually run under 14 different game systems.
Oh, so wow.
Seems like it needs, you'd be surprised at some of them. But it seems like I'm going to need to maybe pick this up and shift gears a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit about that before I pick it up? I know it's available in PDF now, but looks like it's coming out in actual hard format at some point.
So that's on me because I totally forgot that I didn't forget, but I always feel there's like pressure. Like, what did you just do? I'm like, what was I thinking about 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So I did. And that also came out very recently, like you said.
Yep.
So that book is for Skydawn Studios, which is the company that puts out Esper Genesis.
Yep.
So that is a tie-in to their Esper Genesis campaign, which is sci-fi, sort of meets fantasy, but mostly sci-fi kind of a thing. So, and that was fun. Rich Lescafleur is a good guy, does great work, and that has been a project. I believe that, like you said, the PDF came out. I believe that the books are sitting in a shipping container somewhere, like many projects are.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I can pick up the PDF, but I was kind of hoping to get the actual print copy when I could. Okay, I have more questions, but I'm going to let other people.
Tony, I have a question for you. You mentioned Joe Cirillo. How far back do you go with like Living City and things like that?
So this is going to sound terrible. So I actually, I started playing D&D when I was 10 years old, actually. I found a monster manual at a garage sale. And I was like, this is so cool. So eventually my cousin and I, who lived next door, we would just mess around with the monsters and then, kind of went from there. But I had a whole bunch of a big group of friends who were super into Living City, and I was hesitant to try it. It sounded a little over the top and whatever, but I attempted to play Living City 3 times and they were awful. And I felt bad because everybody's like, this is so much fun. So I didn't know what it was, and I had signed up to play a game at Gen Con, but it was for Paragon level only players. So a friend and I sat down to play at a table, and they would not play with us. And it was like a first level adventure. Pre-gens were provided. Like it was like I don't even know. It was a Living City adventure, and they would not play with us. But they couldn't play. They didn't have enough players to play if we left, and they would have rather had us leave than do that. Another time, I tried to play Living City, and they were very rude because I was female. It's one of the few times that I've actually had that happen. In the most time, people are pretty good. So I left. And then the last time I tried to play Living City, I wanted to try it, but they wanted me to pay a fee, like a membership fee. But I wanted to try it before I did the membership fee, and they wouldn't let me do that. So I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for something that I don't know. So I was like not playing, but circling around.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is so insane. It's funny. I started playing when I was about 12, I guess it was. And I learned by playing with one of my friends. Just the two of us played for several weeks, just taking turns being the DM and things like that. And we were doing it back in the day when the hardcover books were just coming out. And then we got adopted into his big brother's gaming group for a couple of years before most of them graduated, and half the players were women. So nice. I always thought, growing up and getting into D&D and getting to work at game companies and TSR and everything, it wasn't until I actually got involved with the RPGA back in the early 90s, mm-hmm. where I found out that it wasn't like a 50-50 split, because all my experiences were that. And of course, I'm a guy, so I didn't get subjected to any of that crap. But it was just so strange to find out that, everybody didn't play with girls. I don't understand why, just, oh my God, I hear that stuff and my blood pressure goes up.
Yeah. Most of the time people are pretty awesome, but every so often. But it almost kept me from playing Living Greyhawk, actually.
Yeah, in college, other than me, our main DM and our club president was the president of the fencing club, who happened to be a woman. So it was like, never even came up, never even thought about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And in our group, half of us are women and half of us are men. So it is a pretty even split.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least it didn't push you away from the hobby itself. Those sound like pretty terrible experiences, but you persevered, it sounds.
Yeah, those were experiences, but like the group I played with at home was half and half. And, I was like, I'll just play with my friends and we'll have a good time. And,
sure.
I didn't let it really get to me or anything. And then I did try Living Greyhawk, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty awesome. So it just made me play more.
There you go.
Another question for you, Tony. So I know that you have been, and you just said it, in fact, but I know you've also been an editor.
Yes.
I started my career as an editor, but quickly moved into game design because as an editor, I make a good game designer. Not such a great editor. But some of my best friends in the game industry are incredibly talented editors. So I always appreciated, somebody coming in behind me and making my stuff look good. A lot of people, I don't think, really know what an RPG editor does. And I was just wondering if maybe you could give a little voice to that, because it's not copy editing.
It's a lot. You have to make sure that the story makes sense. If it's other, if there's other adventures that it ties into, you have to make sure all those pieces, parts, and are there. You have to check for clarity. There is some copy editing, and sometimes that is
Well,
a
certainly
task
that's part
in
of
and
it,
of
yeah.
itself, depending on who's writing. But you also have to know mechanics quite a bit, and you have to make sure that they're appropriate and proper, and like, and the CR system has always been flawed in every edition. So sometimes you have to go by feel, like, yeah, this is gonna work. Yeah, this monster is really tough, but you only have this monster. They're gonna gang up on it and kill it within a couple rounds if you just, there's certain things like that are just you have to do a lot of like dancing. So it's not just monsters, you have to know like skills and like whatever, and the addition and different rule systems use different games, and it's a lot. There's a lot of reading that goes on.
Yeah, a friend of mine is currently editing a very high profile project that I can't talk about because I'm not supposed to know what it is. And she is going absolutely nuts because the designers are very well meaning, but apparently this is like their first mechanical game design. And she keeps calling me up and is like, can you believe they did this? And tells me the rule. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you going to do? And she's like, I was hired to do basically copy editing. And she's already renegotiated twice for more money and bigger deadlines. Cause she's like, I can just copy this, edit this if you want, but it's going to suck.
Yeah.
And they fortunately have seen the light, but now she's putting in like 12-hour days because it is in such rough shape. And fortunately, they got exactly the right person to tell them that it's a problem, and they're at least being receptive. But oh my God, I don't miss editing at all.
And everybody has different, like, somebody can have a great idea and give you something that you're like, I basically have to rewrite this from scratch. So, and then there are people I'm like, oh, look at, they put an extra space. Like, so everybody is kind of different, and yeah, it's a lot, and it's very time consuming, and you have to be very detail oriented to pick it up.
The extra space thing at Page, because I don't want to take up this whole show, but I will tell you some of my editing horror stories and the extra space thing.
Real quick. We're going to continue with this, but let's get Mike Neisto on before we get too far down, because all the Nuked fans are starting to get rowdy in the chat.
Well, he's a pretty awesome guy. Of course, they want to talk to him.
Sure.
Right. I just want to address something in the chat. You see a note. There's a protest. We've got protesters coming to Page.
Oh.
They want Pickles freed. Pickles is a dog that pooped on the floor last year at Page, and his owner walked through the droppings and ground them into the floor.
Oh, no.
So Pickles has been banned. So there's a little Free Pickles campaign going on. So,
I think if Matthew wants to spend his time following around Pickles, then,
All right. Let's.
There was a great question in the chat that we should get to, though, about Legends of Greyhawk. Somebody, Knucklebones, wanted to know about Legends of Greyhawk, which I thought was a really great question. But
okay, we're going to circle back to that.
Okay, Mike. There's Mike. Hello.
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 Do Greyhawk?
Mike.
Hey, Ed.
Speaking of living Greyhawk.
I very anxiously looked at 2024. I'm like, are the old wizards still in the setting, or have they erased me? Like, no, they're still a nice doll. Yay!
Yep.
Yeah,
Mike and
I think
I worked together briefly at TSR.
Yes. So, Mike, thanks so much for joining us. We really do appreciate you taking some time and just like we talked to Tony about her background a little bit, maybe we can get a background on you, how you, give us the synopsis, the Cliff Notes version of your involvement in the gaming industry, and a little bit about your background and where you are with things right now and what you're working on.
I have the thing in my forehead, the old Macintosh when the clock would spin. I'm trying to truncate this all down into an easily digestible, not half-hour spiel. Because I've done a lot, and that's just by dint of being a gray beard that's been around a long time.
Sure.
So it's not really a flex. I just never stopped doing it.
Right.
I started playing, I think I was 9. My dad went to the first ever Gen Con when it was at the college. Before that, it was at the Playboy Club. Because my dad did theatrical lighting, and he got connected because he was a Lord of the Rings fan. And he was setting up lights in one of the performance spaces in that Playboy Club. And walking down the halls, what is this? And that was his weird sideways discovery of gaming, is he was putting up lights. And from that, he connected with Len Kafka, who was Leomund. And my family, when Len moved to Chicago to work at Francis Parker, we became his gaming group. So he would run for us. So a lot of his modules we played. Our characters are actually in some of the books. I think maybe Assassin's Knot. Like there's characters in the back. There's like my character when I was 11, which was super cool later. I mean, certainly as a kid, it was like, oh yeah. To the point where I finally had agency, right? Because at that point, again, it's a little bit of a flex that I've been playing this long, but I didn't have anything to do with it. I was brought into my house. I kind of couldn't have avoided it. But I first I got published in Dragon Magazine when I was 13 or 14. Did the Jolly Green Giant in their mirth section. And I was hooked. My dad was an actor, never really wanted to get involved in writing or doing any of that. Could have, but just didn't have the drive to sit down and do it. I did. So I went from there to beginning to write. I wrote for pretty much everybody in the mid-'80s through very early 90s. So I had either worked in-house or freelance for, West End, like pretty much everybody. I worked for FASA. I was the line editor, the developer on Battletech, and was there when we launched Shadowrun. I went to Mayfair, and I was line editor on the Rolaids during the period where we couldn't use demons or fiends in D&D. Haha! Hey, Leo. We did the demons line, which was like, well, you can't print demons, but we can. So I got to write cool-ass demons for like 9 months of my life.
I remember that.
So much fun, man.
We had as you well know, we had copies of that around the TSR offices.
Yep. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed them, Ed.
We did.
Good. My favorite was the demon that tortured infidelity. She had a whip made of wedding rings.
Oh.
So I got to write lots of things like that, which for a little emo proto-goth boy was like absolute paradise, right? I mean, I'm not that anymore. I'm kind of an aging hippie, but back then I was all black in the wrong way and very much like everything was, we didn't have the term grimdark yet.
You looked cool. And your hair was dark at the time too.
And I was kind of skinny, and I turned into like a chunk-style wizard, but back in the day. So I eventually started my own company, Pariah Press, and I released The Whispering Vault, which has kind of slowly become a cult thing. Like people that know about it really love it, but it was not in production for a long time.
Cult was a different game.
And we were in competition. Cult was out when Vault was out.
Yep, I remember that. We had Lester Smith. You remember Lester?
I just had him on my podcast.
Yeah, he ran playtests of both games because you remember he used to do reviews of smaller press games in Dragon Magazine. We actually got permission to do that, and I got to play in both of them. So
Awesome. Yeah, he gave me an excellent review. I
We
mean,
like that.
like all, this is the wrong thing. I watch a lot of Portlandia these days, so to get attuned to my new home, and there's an element of hipsterism in there, and um, yeah. So anyway, and these days, I kind of retired from the game industry. I did work for TSR for a hot minute. I loved it there, but before I could kind of graduate from I wrote stuff like the liner notes for the not Blood Island, Savage Coast CD
Yep,
of music and voiceovers. I wrote the
Yep.
liner notes for those. Like I was getting the new guy, we just need this stuff done assignments, and
Yeah.
I'm certain that down the road, like 6 months, I would have been given like a proper chewy assignment. But that's right when y'all moved, and everyone was kind of given the offer, like, are we going to move across the country, or are you going to stay here? And I had my kid was, I think, only 6 months old or something like that. So I had a new family and a wife, and we did not want to. So that was the end of my tenure. I didn't go. I kind of regretted that marriage didn't end great. Kid loved moving, being where we were. She's Texan now still. That may not have happened. So maybe it's all for the best. My memories are all great of TSR, though. There's people there that are still my friends.
You sat right next to me. I mean, I was in that center cube, and
and in the center square tonight is Ed Stark.
I basically inherited Jeff Grubb's cube, which was like the center of the spider web. I had probably the largest cube.
It's like saying you got the nicest trailer in the park.
Yeah, exactly. It was this big L-shaped thing.
It was for sure a cube Warren. I mean, Ed had a nice knot in the Warren because the way those are laid out, you get the Ron from Parks and Recreation. You get like the center square, and they have a little more room. The rest of us all had these one drop wall narrow desk deals. Yeah, totally.
Except over kind of near the the balcony cubes were kind of nice because you had that open area, but then over by where Jim Butler and Janelle Jakeways used to sit, they had those, for some inexplicably, they had these double height cubes.
Yeah.
So like it was like 12 feet high,
And Lester had this weird little cave.
Yeah.
He had like a little crotch. I don't know what it was, under a staircase or something.
Yeah, it was under a staircase and in a corner, kind of. So he had it just as well could have been an office.
This must be so exciting for people listening.
I was just going to say we don't want to talk about Lester's odd little crotch. That was not going in the right direction for a PG-13 show. But we have a couple questions here.
Yeah,
we have another Pickles fan apparently.
I think you live with that Pickles fan, Ron.
Yeah.
Well, one person brought up the Cthulhu adventure you ran last year, Mike. What do you have planned? And this also goes to Tony. What do you have planned for this year at Page? Mike?
I was just waiting to see if Tony was going to.
Oh. And I was doing the same thing.
Oh, all right. Well, so my issue has been I did a panic move over 2,000 miles. So I had registered events before I was really ready because it's almost a year out when you have to do that. So I'm not even sure what I submitted. Whatever it is, I'm going to run the hell out of it.
Well, you submitted 27 events. You don't remember?
Oh, boy.
Nope. If I did, I'll run them, man. And I'll give them my all.
Well, now that we know that we have Tony to depend on as our GM whip,
well, we'll see what I can do. But if it makes you feel any better, I submitted mine the day I had appendix surgery, so I was pretty high.
Oh, dear God.
I was like, I gotta do this. I don't know. Like,
I mean, it's a loaded question a little bit because as somebody that was in the industry and then went away, then came back, then had a disastrous Kickstarter, retreated again, and then is finally coming back, and kind of crawling my way into a very unfamiliar kind of ecosystem. Like, it's very different than it was in the 80s, believe me. And in a lot of great ways, but it's unfamiliar territory for me. So I'm still trying to find my way. But what I'm trying to lead with, because I'm a mediocre writer, I very much need those wonderful editors that Ed was talking about. God bless them, always buy the muffins. If I didn't have, the editors I had at FASA, I would have been completely lost. They were spectacular. But I know I'm a good game designer, but my thing is I run solid games. So when I come to a convention, what I want to bring is I want to bring a really memorable, really fun game. Because I think that's kind of my lever into being a memorable guest.
Yeah, I remember from page 2 last year, Mike, the table that you were at, that you basically set up shop in for the entire convention, right when you walked in, and to the right, that was you. And I looked over, and it was just like you were just there holding court, like from like 8 o'clock in the morning to like midnight. I look over, and you're still there, just roaring on that mic, because you have that little mic set up for your table, just going crazy. I'm like, man, this guy has got to be on like,
well,
Red Bull and caffeine.
In fairness, we had set Mike up with some others who had an Airbnb, and I think they forgot Mike one of the days when they left.
So did.
Mike was left at the convention center. We were trying to make him comfortable, so we said, sit in this chair and talk to people behind a screen, and here's some dice.
Well, I did. My attitude at a convention is I'm there to help the convention. I'm there to serve the function of making the convention good. Like, I was raised by FASA. I was raised by, we brought in the FASA, like the Shadowrun City. We always put on a show, right? So I always wanted to be something where 6 months away you're going to go, yeah, that Cthulhu game. There was like a whole map of a high school and some cool ass moments. So the answer to the question is I don't know, but I promise you it'll be good.
Yeah, I just checked real quick. You have three sessions of the Lethal Labyrinth, 3 sessions of Nuked Road Trip, and then 1 panel traditional RPG design. So that's your schedule.
That's me with Jeff D. Jeff's a good friend of mine, and he's one of those people. There's a meme going around about being starved for intellectual stimulation, and Jeff is one of those people where we get talking, and it's exciting. So we want to do something where we just shoot the shit. So the subject is kind of going to be like the misnomer of traditional gaming, and then talking about game design and game theory.
For as brilliant as Jeff is intellectually, he's not the smartest person in his house.
Amanda is a Time Lord.
She's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
She knows the most obscure things. So I've known them since the early 80s. And I used to think that she was full of shit, because she'd say,
You're getting us demonetized.
Oh, full of hooskerdoo. Because she'd say these things that were like an SNL skit. She'd say, like a line like, the things on the ends of shoelaces are aglets and their purpose is mysterious. And you'd be like, okay, Amanda, fine. Then you found out later, all that stuff that she'll, if you are friends with her on Facebook, she'll sometimes vomit an entire topic. Like, today we're going to learn how to use atlatls to kill feral pigs. And she'll just spit post after post after post. And the astounding thing is they're all factual, every single post. And she's not researching and then putting them up.
Yeah.
She knows that shit.
You know what? My wife, Jenn, is like that. we could be watching some documentary on some obscure topic, and before the narrator or the expert like begins to talk about a certain subject, they might show like a little glimpse of the picture.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to talk about it. She's already spitting out what they're going. Oh, yeah, that's so and so who died in 234 BC, and the Second Dynasty. I was like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the panel. I'm always like, and I did get to talk a little with you, Jen, at this last page, and we got along very well. I look forward to getting to know her a little better at this next con.
Yes,
be careful.
I remember.
You're talking about this, Jen. Yeah, I don't care, but you can talk to that, Jen. I thought you were talking about.
I talked to
Jen
and I hung out too.
Yeah, we were in the lobby.
Yeah.
On Wednesday. Yeah.
I was, in fact, referring to both Jens.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time I saw you, Mike, I was white knuckling the steering wheel trying to get you to the airport in a very bad snowstorm.
My God, did you have to listen to Anna Meyer and I becoming
in the car,
instant friends and like having an immediate rapport? Like sometimes you feel like you found your reincarnated sister or something. It felt like that.
Yeah, you guys really hit it off. Within like 2 minutes, it's like you were kindred spirits that had rediscovered each other after like thousands of years in like 2 minutes of conversation. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's fantastic. Now I have to get both of these people to the airport in a blizzard. Which literally was like, I mean, you guys were yapping. I'm looking over at like spun out cars in the other lane that like on their roofs and things like that.
Listen, anybody listening to this, he's totally exaggerating. Don't worry about the weather. Yes, it's Philadelphia in January. All good. All good. There was no state of emergency called. I will just say that. No state of emergency called.
Yeah. No, we game through it. We game through it, fans.
That is exactly what it is. What's the game plan if it snows? We will game through it. That was the official statement from the convention. But
Anna's the best. And also as somebody who's, I won't get political on stream either, but as somebody who wants the opinions of people from other countries looking back at us, I think that's always the best news. Anna has held positions in other countries and has an informed position. So listening to her comments about things that we were going through and are going through was fascinating, because she's also one of the smartest people I've ever met. Just whip smart, amazing.
Yes. Very, very smart.
Yeah. Now, could have been she just seemed a lot smarter because the third person in the car, double-digit IQ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't even know how I've gotten this far. Yeah.
Now, we do have a question here from Knucklebones. I signed up for info about Legends of Greyhawk. What can you tell us about it, Tony?
So Legends of Greyhawk is what is traditionally called an organized play or living campaign, where there's a set pamphlet of rules for character creation, and you take that one character and you play you can travel around the country or the world or wherever you are with that character in different adventures, and they would level up as you played. It's very nice, especially if you are able to do a lot of traveling or home games. I mean, at home we use those when somebody doesn't have time to really do a big thing. This particular is set in the world of Greyhawk, and it's actually set in 576 CY 576. So they backed up the timeline a little bit. So it's like before the Flight of Fiends and all that other good stuff. So
hey, I'm not dead.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I think it's gonna be like, you can make it your own. You're gonna ignore everything after that date and see what happens and get to it. They have premier organizers, so they're sort of going back to the regional aspect that Living Greyhawk had, each premier organizer gets a couple different areas, and they are the only ones that are allowed to be writing adventures that take place in those particular areas. So, and there will be more premier organizers announced shortly, I think. So, but it's a lot of fun, and you know, it's a good way. You know, I've made a lot of friends over the years doing conventions and things, so it's a really nice time to like be like, oh, you know, sit down with the friends I don't see very often, or I don't see as often because we live far distances, and it's a good time. So right now we have three premier organizers. Baldman Games, which gets the Domain of Greyhawk, Furiandi, High Folk, Valuna, and Verbabonk. Game Conclave, which gets the County and Duchy of Ernst and Lordship of the Isles, and the West Coast Adventurers Guild gets the Abandoned Kingdoms and Wild Coast.
Nice. And
Wow.
of course, we've got Baldman Games at Page running Legends of Greyhawk. So
That's right. Yep. And we have those, all of those adventures are able for folks to register and get tickets for right now. Be aware if you're on the stream and you're listening or you're watching this later, as tables fill up, we are going to be adding more tables. So don't get discouraged if you see some of the time slots or the adventures that you want to fill in. I am personally entering new sessions as they fill in. So as tables get down in number of tickets available, I'm going to slap more in there. And so, please sign up for them. They were just out at Gen Con. I was out at Gen Con with Tony, and I was running stuff, or Grimhowl stuff for Ghostfire Games through Baldman. And I would look across the room and see all the folks doing the Greyhawk stuff. And you know, it was really busy. Tables were filled. People were having a great time. And the people that have written these adventures through Baldman right now are fantastic folks. One of the writers, Sean Merwin, will be there at Page 3 for us, who wrote one of the the Legends of Greyhawk adventures. So that's great too. So you can meet him.
He did. So did I. I wrote one as
and
well.
Tony. And Tony, and I don't know if Eric is coming or Greg, but
I'm not sure.
So speaking of Greyhawk, I'm
Yes.
enrolled. I've been accidentally enrolled in maybe the strangest lottery of all time. As I'm trying to promote my work and get back into the industry, I'm noticing that Wizards they've adopted this habit of naming source books after old Wizards. So Big B's Guide to This and so forth. It feels like it's only a matter of time before it's Nice Soul's Guide to something. And I'm going to dine on that shit. Sorry, Ron. The minute that happens, that's a spike that I could use to promote any number of things.
You might have to offer to write it.
If anyone is listening, I would gladly write it.
there you go.
now we did have a suggestion of a new panel for Page called "The Brilliant Wives of Dummy Gamers."
That's awesome.
My wife.
Unfortunately, I could probably fill that panel with my ex-wives and my current wife. So,
My wife actually wrote a very funny article for Dragon Magazine for one of their April issues about being a gamer wife, and it was very tongue-in-cheek. And most people got it, but a few people got very mad about some of the stuff she wrote. I'm going to have to dig that up sometime because it was very.
I think I remember it actually.
Yeah.
So there's a question from the owner of Pickles, saying, "You tell us, what is Nystel's expertise?"
I am a teacher. I am studying to be probably a therapist. I have been a performer. I have studied improv for years. I teach it. It's all the things that are kind of a Venn diagram to game master and game designer. I have run game companies. I've done art direction. Before I started my first company, I made a point of doing all the jobs that would be involved in running the company. So I did print buying, I did editing, just so I knew what it was like. So I've got a history of like knowing all of that. Of course, a lot of that doesn't apply anymore, right? Because some of the layout that I learned was zipatone and stuff. Like I'm an old dude, so some of my skills aren't used anymore. But my main expertise is in gamifying storytelling and event management, making things entertaining and engaging.
That's awesome. It's really hard to list all that stuff out. And when you wear a lot of hats, it's like
You mean fictional Nystal. Matthew, you got to be more specific. I'm in 6 different universes. I was also on Nystal and Ultima. Lord British's advisor was Nystal. That was also me. There was a point where people were getting real weird about women in gaming, and I got kind of offended and upset. So I decided that in the history of the character Nystal in Greyhawk, he had been killed by Vecna during one of the battles, but there were other times he had died and come back. So like a lot of wizards, they die and come back. So I decided he was reincarnated and he came back as a female elf. So he is now a she. And I had an artist, and I've got this, I think it's actually on the wanderingwizard.guru page. You can actually look up the current stats and the art I had done. I took a picture of me in the costume I wear to cons. So black garb with a red scarf and a big floppy wizard hat. And I took a picture of my mom and said, draw my mom as me. So in my mind, my headcanon is Nystal is now my mother.
That's awesome.
So to answer expertise, her player character was a character named Mother Willa, who was a kind of a white witch, wise helper person, which was my mother to a T. The other weird gong I bang about mom is her name was Genevieve. And at Gen Con, they had to name the dragon that's the mascot contest, and they named the big red dragon Genevieve. Again, my headcanon is the people don't know that mom participated in some of the playtesting for AD&D. So like some of the spells in the game, like Suggestion, a few others, were my mother's direct influence. So that's at least a 4th level spell, my friend. Yeah, you get it. So I think that Genevieve is a tribute to my mother, but
Now we have a pretty cool mascot at Page.
Yes, you do.
Phil E. Cheesesteak. And yeah, we have a little coin there, but we also, I didn't even tell Phil and Ed this yet. I'm going to announce this, but we will have Phil plushies available. Page.
Nice.
Awesome.
Want.
Take my money.
Who is doing them?
The young lady we met out at EggCon. I'm just drawing a blank on her company name. Hold on, I'll find it. Keep talking.
Are you taking pre-orders?
We will have pre-orders as soon as I see the actual prototype. But yes, we're getting close here.
Yeah, Ron and I had actually talked to a couple of people about that a long time ago, and I thought the idea was one of those things we'd have to save for the future. That's awesome. I think those will go very, very well.
The plushies are all handmade.
That's awesome.
They're not and it's Angela Norris, the Snuggly Seamstress. And she had some great stuff out at EggCon, and Scott Douglas dragged me over to speak to her, and I was happy to talk to her. And we're looking pretty good. We Phil takes on a life of his own a little bit every year, for sure.
Ron, Matt Archibald says he'd like a plushie of me. So if we could talk to the Snuggly seamstress, maybe we could. That's alternate plushie for the con.
I have a bone to pick with about cheesesteaks in Philly. I have yet to have a truly transcendent Philly cheesesteak experience, and I'm absolutely intently focused on having one. I had 3 cheesesteaks while I was there, and none were. There was the lovely the dinner we had together.
The dinner, yeah.
Those were okay, right? And they could only be okay because they were kind of like in pre-cooked and everything. So it was fine.
It was a buffet.
Yeah, exactly. And I went out to other places. Somebody brought one in for me, and I went out somewhere. One was from Wawa, I think.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't count.
No.
Hey, Wawa is serviceable, but yeah, that's not where you want to have your cheesesteak.
So I want to make sure while I'm out there that I have a proper Philly cheesesteak.
Is there anywhere up in the Oaks area where we can get one, or should we?
Now there's actually the place next to when I say next, it's actually next to but underneath of the Complete Strategist, which isn't far. The pizza place makes very good cheesesteaks there. I usually grab one when I'm there. I'll lunch there.
It's like 3-4 miles down the road kind of situation.
No,
that's not bad.
Listen. Now we're going to start this argument. Ed Lopez, John's roast pork, totally out on that. Totally out. Working in Philly every day, totally out on John's roast pork. Any cheesesteak place that gives you a cheesesteak with tons of sesame seeds on it, I'm out. Out.
Are you a roast pork mozzarella guy or a cheese whiz guy?
Well, there's no mozzarella on cheesesteaks. Come on. It's American or it's whiz, or perhaps provolone. Perhaps.
You guys are making me hungry.
I know, right?
Well, I've actually never been to Philly, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, well, so depending on when you fly in, I know that I'm planning on coming up the Wednesday before the show. I'm going to have to eat that evening, so I'm totally into the idea of a cheesesteak expedition.
I'm going to try to come early because I haven't had a chance to see any of Philly yet. So I'm sure there's friendly local game stores. I'm sure there's museums and things I should see. So I'm going to get down
to the Reading Market.
Okay.
The Reading Market.
Reading Terminal Market.
Yeah.
We're coming up Tuesday night, so we'll be in Philly by Wednesday morning.
Oh, nice.
I haven't figured that out. It'll at least be Wednesday, if not before, So my last month has been a hot mess.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I got appendicitis like right before I was supposed to do a bunch of stuff.
No. Did they tear it out?
Yeah, I thought
Is it in a jar?
Poisoning. I did not want to save it.
What?
I told them they could have it and do whatever they wanted.
Could you imagine the amount of money we could have raised in our charity auction with an autographed jar with Tony Winslow Brill's
diseased appendix?
Yeah.
My messed up appendix. Oh my God.
Ron, if anything falls off of me or is cut off, I promise to save it.
Could you imagine the creepers that would have turned out and plucked out their hard money at that auction to win that body part?
You took a turn with that, man.
What? I'm just saying. Listen, we're a charity. We have to earn money where we can.
Oh,
Oh God. I mean, a couple of years ago, there was a real push for for some lucky person to win an all expenses paid date with Ben Barsh from Pace Center.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. He was terrified. actually.
Hey, I'm going to bring something up since we sort of skirted on the topic. I don't know how many of you know, but Ron runs a charitable organization called the Gamers Assistance Program. And recently, Ron celebrated a birthday. He's 21 finally.
Let me take 2 steps back. The charity organization is the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. The Gamer Assistance Program is the program that we use to raise funds. And my birthday's Tuesday, and I'm a 2XL shirt. 2XL shirt for anybody wondering. Don't try to buy me gaming stuff. I have everything. No, so 2XL shirt.
Well, but even more important, Ron actually put on his Facebook page a place where you can donate to the Gamers Assistance Program if you'd like. So anybody who's listening and has a few bucks that they can use to help out gamers in need, people who maybe don't have insurance or have run into some problems, much like Tony did, or any of us might at any point, please consider donating.
We would have absolutely donated some money for some dry ice so we could preserve Tony's diseased appendix for auction.
I could throw some toenails in there.
Oh, there you
go. Signing off, friends. Have a great night.
So I have a question for both of you.
Yes, please, Jen, give us a question.
Okay. So you have worn many hats, right? You've done game design, editing, all sorts of things. What is the one thing that you love the most about your jobs, and what's your favorite game? What's the favorite game that you've worked on?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I usually have a lot of fun. So I really enjoy it. I actually have a degree in English, and I get to use it like for most of my life because I just did stuff at home or whatever. I didn't use it. I could write the hell out of a memo, but and I did a lot of I've worked a lot in higher education, so it's come in handy. And but I really enjoy being able, I always enjoy writing and doing that stuff. So I enjoy putting my ideas down and trying to make them work and having a lot of fun. But I really also enjoy reading other people's ideas and then talking to them about it. Sometimes I'd be like, oh my God, this was so awesome. What if you did this, and then you kind of get that collaboration sort of thing going. And that is my absolute favoritist thing.
I don't think favoritist is a word.
It is now.
Yeah.
English major.
Different than writing.
As a fellow English major and former teacher, favoritist is totally a word if Tony says it's a word.
Are we all former teachers?
I'm a current teacher.
So yes. I do like that she said I'm an English major, and then you kind of corrected her.
Shakespeare made up his own words. I can do it too.
That's right.
Well, that's the nature of language, right? It falls into use, and it's proper then.
I have a great shirt that says English doesn't borrow words from other languages. It sneaks up on them in a blind alley and blackjacks them.
That's awesome.
My favorite job was working at FASA because the people there were all spectacular, wonderful human beings. I'm friends with pretty much every one of them to this day. But my favorite thing, the thing I do, is go to conventions and connect with people at games. Whatever else I'm doing, whatever the job is, I do a lot of running remote like this because I'm in a yurt in a new town and I don't really know people yet. So I do a lot of remote running. Some of it is freelance GMing. Some of it is just for friends that are thousands of miles away. But there's something about somebody close enough that you can have that connection that you can only really get in person. And especially if they're new people, when you reach them, and you have a connection and you're like playing with them, that is such a high for me that it's kind of the dragon I'm always chasing. My favorite game is my current one. I have a fondness for other games I've written or contributed to, like the Whispering Vault. My current game is Nuked, which is the quickest form is you tried to play Fallout using Shadowrun. It's kind of Gamma World if Henry Rollins was the line editor. So it's a kind of a smart-ass post-apocalypse game with magic in it. And I really like the game system. It had 5 years of development, which gave me the time inadvertently, because in the middle of that was a terrible plague. But it gave me the time to really tighten all the screws to the point where I think it's really like gross to say things like this about your own stuff, I think. But I think at times it managed to be elegant. And that, I think, as a designer, is what I'm looking for, right? You want to lay a rules set out that people pick up, understand, and that runs without any engine noise, right? So I think Nuked has that. As weird as a game as it is, I think the system is polished, smooth, and elegant.
If someone was interested in finding more out about Nuked, where could they go to do that?
So I'm on Facebook. If you look up Nuked TTRPG, and I'm posting regular things like extra magic items and also videos about certain rules. You could go to wanderingwizard.guru, which is my me site, which has all the things I'm doing. I also have a page on Facebook that's the Wandering Wizard page. You can find it. I just recently released the 2.2 edition, which is newest, hottest, most polished. I replaced a little bit of the art that was slightly janky. And it is available now on drive-thru. And I think it's pretty cheap too. Well worth a look.
Okay. So I think for a lot of folks, can follow both those links, but also I would venture to guess all of us have drive-thru RPG accounts, could go there and snag it. But yeah, that's great. And you know, we're hoping that the development of that continues, because it's I as you were saying, I think it's okay to be in love with your own stuff. You know, if you really feel like you put your heart and soul into it, and you like what you did, and you just didn't mail it in, you know, kind of a thing, because it's a job. You're doing it out of the passion of your own creativity. Nothing wrong with that.
I hear you, brother. And as a life coach and as a father, it's what I would say to somebody else. I am a recovering, self-absorbed egotist. I have like a 12-year chip. And I used to be one arrogant little snooty. In fact, I think the version of me that Ed knew had a little bit of his head a little bit up his long coat wearing butt. And so I tend to I lean very hard into gratuity, being grateful and being humble. So sometimes I overdo it a little bit. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's good work. I think it's solid. Yeah. Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So, Ron, do we have other questions for our guests?
Well, quickly, we kind of spun away from what Ed had brought up, but you know, we are raising money for our gamer assistance program right now through the Facebook for, nonprofit birthday fundraiser system. We're actually, you know, was trying to raise $1,000. A couple of days in, we're already halfway there, so we're doing very well. But you know, if you're interested and you don't want to do it through Facebook, on our website, on the merchandise page, there are basically small donation amounts you can make just by purchasing a donation through our merchandise page. So you want to donate $5, you can donate $5. You want to donate $100, you can donate $100. But you know, we do give this money out regularly. to gamers in need. We don't run around talking about who we donate the money to, because obviously if they're going through hard times, we don't want to highlight that people are going through hard times. Like, hey, look what we did. We don't want to do that. And that's never been our way. But, we all know folks in the gaming industry that have hit hard times. And there are so many of them out there. And, we're happy to be able to give that money out. And, our auction revenue goes towards that goal. But we still need more, because, this year in particular, we've given out a lot of money because there's been quite a few people that have needed it. And, we're there when they need it, but, the fund's not an endless fund. When the money runs out, and we have to replenish it. Right. So anything you could do would be great. And we appreciate the people who've donated to the birthday fundraiser so far. But, don't forget, you can always donate through the website, or you can donate by giving us gaming stuff to put in the game auction that we can take 100% of those proceeds and put it into the Gamer Assistance Program as well. All right.
So when people donate,
end commercial.
When people donate on the website,
mm-hmm.
do you get all of the donation instead of Facebook? Because I know they take some kind of a cut.
Yeah, Facebook takes more than the website takes, but we do have a CRM we use. Tabletop Events is a CRM. They charge a fee, but generally we get the net amount because some of the fees are covered by the purchaser.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. James Jackson is asking in chat, can they get a link so that they can share it on their channels as well?
Sure. We'll put that out there right now.
Yeah, we'll get that up there. And remember, folks, we're a 501c3, so these are tax-deductible donations. And, if you really want to old school it and just write a check and hand it to, someone at the con, we won't say no to you. And that way, all of the money comes to us versus some intermediary. So that's fine. I'm one of those weirdos that writes checks still. I know that sounds like maybe very old-fashioned, so I just popped into my head.
It's interesting. I think Ed and Phil know this, but our largest direct donor who writes checks to the Gamer Assistance Program is a YouTube creator, and she's a gamer. But her YouTube channel has nothing to do with gaming.
No.
So she had twins when she was 40 and feeds the twins food on YouTube and has like 100,000 followers because people want to see what their twins are eating today. So funny. So she writes a big check to us every year. And Baron DeRop comes in, and this young lady, she's a volunteer for us. She said, "Oh, you're a special guest. What do you do?" And he goes, "I'm a YouTube content creator." She goes, "Oh, yeah?" He goes, "Yeah, I have 60,000 followers." She goes, "Oh, that's cute. I've got about 100,000." He's like, "Really? Like, what's your channel about?" She's like, "I just feed my kids food." And it's true. Like, the videos start off every day. There's a new video, and the videos start off. It's the two kids sitting in high chairs at the counter. And it's titled Twins Try Lima Beans. And it's 2, 3-year-olds or however old they are now, smashing lima beans all over their heads and eating them and everything else.
I kind of want to see that, Ron.
The YouTube name is Alicia Barton. Alicia Barton.
Cool.
But it's a very interesting thing, and but she's always been very generous to us, and we appreciate it. And she's generous with her time because she kills herself at our registration desk for 4 days.
Yeah. She's chained to that registration desk.
There's the link that talks about the Gamer Assistance Program.
I have a question for our guests and for our audience. One of the things I had talked to Ron about was if we were to do, like, to film a gaming session. Maybe we go over to Ron's place. He's got a really nice setup. If we were to film a game, like maybe a 4-hour thing as a fundraiser, would any of you be interested in watching and donating through that to see us make idiots of ourselves on camera? I'm going to ask this question probably on the Facebook and Discord pages too, but just wondering if that was something you folks would be interested in.
So the niche I'm looking for, Ed, coming back, is I want to be the guy you call to run things like that. I know because I was missing, there are people that have kind of gone where I was in the 80s. You probably remember around the FOSSA time, they used to fly me around the country to run games.
Yep.
There are younger people, many with very colorful hair and nicer jackets than mine, that now run the games. But I want to reestablish that that's kind of one of the roles that I have in the industry. So absolutely, I would love to see it. It would be a hoot. But if you get down to like, who do we get to run it? I would love for you to consider having me run it.
Very cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool idea.
It is. And I have done charity streams before, and they actually do make quite a bit of money depending on what they are. And they're a lot of fun. And, you get people who are having a good time, and it's charity. I always joke. I'm like, they'll give like re-rolls or whatever they do to like try to drum up the funds, and you'll be like, I'm like, it's for the kids, do it, or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
Sounds like we'll at the very least have to hit you guys up for advice, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Just real quick, I've also put in the links to the description of the Gamer Assistance Program and to the charitable initiative section of our merchandise section, where you can actually make the donations in the chat here. So
since it seems like a good opportunity to say these things, speaking of YouTube channels, being a long tooth graybeard, I dragged my heels on social media a little bit, but I have put my foot in. I think I'm up to 18 videos. I have a YouTube channel. It's Nice Till DM. I would love for y'all to go and take a look. I talk a lot about old school gaming and the current projects I'm doing. And I'm also launching a actual play or live play. What's the terminology? I'm looking instinctively at the youngest person on the stream.
Both are quite common.
Well, okay. Put a link in our private chat, and we can throw it out into the main chat.
Cool.
Your channel is so cool. I subscribed today.
Oh, thank you.
And I love the Fireball Mage video. That is such a nice idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to use that in one of our games.
I'm going to have also Mondays, I'm going to have guests. I'll probably be asking some people on this very broadcast about that. But I've had Lester Smith. Next week is Jeff D. The following week is my brother, who is also a BattleTech developer. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, it's I'm going to put the YouTube, shoot that up. So the actual play, the hook is Dark and Stormy Night. I'm running this by teams of people. So I'd love to get Phil and Ron to play this as a team. You come up with a thematic character, a fantasy team of fantasy characters, and I then run you through a module. The hook is it's the same module every time. And the idea is people that have watched it, you can learn what the other group did and saw. The intention is it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. You get to the place where you're like, this is where you die because the shark ate you. So as we run it over and over again, some people are going to come in not having any of that background and won't care, and they'll run fresh, which is fine. But other people will follow comments on my pages or have watched the old videos, and they can get to parts of the adventure nobody else has ever seen. So I think as we go forward with it, it's going to get more and more interesting. And I've already got game industry legends, voice actors, because I have a lot of friends that were at Rooster Teeth. I'm going to try to get Todd Stashwick. He's hard to reach these days because he's got super mega famous, but he was a big Nuked fan. So that's going to be super cool. And I'm starting with Sam Chupp, who wrote for Wraith the Oblivion and Changeling the Dreaming. And Jimmy Bragdon from Steve Jackson Games are starting on Wednesday.
That's awesome. That's like you saved the page, so because you're pretty sure this is going to kill you, but
exactly right. Yeah.
You're in there, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going back now.
And the setup is that the joke of a premise for bad novels, like you find yourself on a lonely road on a dark and stormy night, go, and then you figure out where you are, what's going on, and depending on where you go, and I've written this thing, I've used. I'll stop shortly, Ron. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I've had to use the graphing procedures I use to write multipath books because it's so large. And I think any of you that's written scenarios, especially for conventions, you know that it's hard to track, where you are in like a big book. Like you don't want to run Rap on Athuk at a con. So I had to have basically a roadmap, which looks like a timeline that has all the branching paths and references, and then I have a printed guide so that you can go over a couple hundred possible little nodules of this story. And it may end up that some people are just going to go, we go down the road, and they'll encounter a series of things. I think a lot of people are going to go lots of interesting places. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That seems pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
That sounds so
Yeah,
fun.
it sounds like you've got a lot of irons in the fire, which, is, I think, always mentally stimulating and, a reason to get out of bed in the morning because you got something to look forward to every day. So
I'm a hyper-focused guy for mental health, so the more I'm doing, the busier I am, the happier I am.
Yes.
So how does your mental health background inform your game
I
design?
used to run games for kids in the spectrum. And I don't have a certificate yet. I'm not a proper therapist, but I ran with other therapists, consulting and sometimes in the room. And these kids, some of them were so far on the spectrum, they would not look you in the eyes. And there's something magical about role playing that when they figured out that their choices, their agency wouldn't be judged. And they were like, it isn't Johnny that made that decision. I'm playing Braddock the Bold, and it's Braddock the Bold that's punching that orc. You see them light up, their heads would come up, and then a few of them over the course of a few sessions, they'd do the thing that they do in Montessori school, where the older ones kind of take shepherding ownership of the younger ones, which in a group of kids, and I think they were almost all boys, but all boys between 8 and 14. I've been a scoutmaster and a cub master. I love them to death, but they're like popcorn, very much a herding cats thing. And if they're all on the spectrum, it starts as a very rough room, but then once they get like kind of the magic of role playing, they kind of come alive, and it's such an inherently therapeutic thing. So yeah, that's kind of where the training comes in. Also, teaching is about classroom management. I think effectively teaching, you have to be able to call the attention of the room and get them focused. Phil, you've played with me, so there's been times where I was able, even when the things kind of drifted off, I could get everybody back in. I think that's where that is. Then also being able to look at the people at that table and figure out what they need from me, that's therapy training. That person needs attention. That person needs to be able to engage and solve the puzzle. So
Mike, you're not a trained therapist, but you slept in a yurt last night.
Man, I
I'm
present.
sorry. I just like to get right to the point.
I go to cons. I call myself a wizard, and I'm living in a tent in the Pacific Northwest. I would have assumed people thought that's where I was living anyway, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's some real street cred right there.
Yeah, it's my background. That's where I live.
Yeah. Right. That's not a fake background. That's legitimately his house.
And it's the highest ceiling I've ever had. Look at that darn thing. It is actually a huge room, and you can only kind of see it. It's a full-size, big wooden gaming table, like one of those expensive gamer tables. Yet it's a yurt. Go figure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like it's different, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're likely getting close to saying goodbye to our special guest because we've kept them, I think, maybe a little longer than we normally would. But the conversation was flowing. It was very interesting. It was very organic this evening. Great questions coming in from chat, and of course, we had some really good questions for you. So we are again very, very happy to have you. Join us at page 3, and it's August. It's like sticky, it's humid, it's hot outside. It may seem like a long ways away, but quite honestly, it's really not. I think a lot of us will. Well, Tony, you'll be at GameholeCon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I'm going. I thought I wasn't.
Oh.
I'm going. To
Oh, right. Fantastic. All right. Great.
We're going to be doing a. We're going to be putting together a dinner for out at GameholeCon. So Tony, we'd like to invite you, Mike. We'll see, but
I'm in like
oh.
But no, we'd like we're definitely going to pick one night and have a dinner out there. So we'll drag you out there, Tony. I know you'd like to stay in the room. You're probably going to stay in the Legends of Greyhawk area, but we'll drag you through.
That's fine. Actually, they don't have an official Legends of Greyhawk. That they're doing their Wardens of the East marches. So,
okay.
And yeah, so I was just.
So they're not. Yeah. So there's no Legends of Greyhawk there.
Yeah. No, not a Gamehole. No, because Baldman doesn't.
They're doing their own organized play. So.
Well, no, it's not. Listen, they started an organized play. We're heavily involved in that as well on our end.
Absolutely.
And
I'm actually.
They haven't announced it yet, but I know a couple of other conventions have signed on as well. So
I'll be helping with the Wardens program.
Yeah, me too.
I'm helping with administration, so if you come up, I'm probably gonna be one of the guys there.
Nice. My my fiance actually wrote one of the adventures premiering there. So
awesome.
I think
really we're going to have him write one for Paige. Let's talk about all the things that Tony's going to be doing for us. She's going to be bullying the guy from Cherry Hill. She's going to be getting her fiance to write a Legends of Greyhawk first.
He's in chat, Ron. You could just ask him.
He is lurking around.
Oh, I see him. There he is. Look, he says he's. Listen, don't embarrass yourself. That wasn't right.
That was pretty good.
Oh boy.
Yes.
But yeah, so I actually will have a little more free time at GameholeCon this year. So just let me know what you want or what you need.
We'll take you to we'll have you at dinner, and Mike and Ed and Phil, and you can bring Jeremy if you want.
Do we know when the dinner is going to be?
No, because if we announce it, then everybody listening is going to show up, and we can't.
There you go.
I'm far too cheap for that.
Yeah. Well, we gotta let Ronan know at some point, because he'll be there.
Well, listen. We at least have to let his wife know.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh God, they're such great people. But Anyway, so we do have a couple things that we do want to talk about specifically about the con that we typically gear ourselves toward the end of the broadcast. So, Ron, unless we have anything else we want to address with our special guests, I think we can cut them loose.
Does anybody else have any questions for them?
Just one.
Okay.
What advice do you have for people who want to potentially design their own games?
Do it. Just do it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't, there's avenues with drive-through or DM's Guild or whatever else. And it's unlike any other sort of writing or program that you could do, and it's very much a learn as you go sort of a thing. And it's very much community. So if you step out and you meet people and you give it a try, people are going to be more than happy to say, hey, they'll give you advice or they'll prop you up, or, and you meet the coolest people doing it. I think people get in their own way a lot. And
I concur.
Doing it.
Can I add that don't get in your head about, is it something that's going to sell? People stop themselves by trying to see, like, I got to find my niche, or I got to find, it's, especially now, so much has been done. It's the singer, not the song. Like, your voice is going to be unique. So even if you choose to write exactly Shadowrun, your Shadowrun will be different than Tom Dodd's Shadowrun. So write it. As long as you're not chasing the dollar or chasing anything other than the creative experience, you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
All right. So we do have a couple of things from the crowd. We've got, Tony already got me to volunteer to judge a page one time slot.
I bet you I could get him to do more.
Yeah, he's got to do at least 3 time slots. I mean, what's going on here? Only one, Tony? Okay, there's another question in here. How serious is this Tony and Jeremy thing? That's from somebody in the crowd.
He did
from
propose.
Anonymous Stalker is the person's screen name.
That's really good. Yeah, it's probably somebody I know.
Probably.
Anonymous Stalker JC is his initial. So who could that be?
Jesus
I
Christ,
am fond of Jeremy, and he did propose at Christmas. So we have been friends for 20 years.
All right, where's the ring? You should put up the ring. Hold up the ring. There it is.
I'm a professional Santa and I marry people. So if you need someone to do the ceremony, let me know.
We can't.
It's a sapphire. He thought I would like that better than a diamond, and he was right. So
that is actually that's a badass engagement ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know. Now we definitely know why you could go sapphire and not diamond. That's a big savings. So this is a money saving move. I got it.
I mean, I guess, but
Man,
Jen finishing off her alcoholic drink there.
No, it's Polar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only one shot. Remember, Ron, it's only one shot at the beginning of the broadcast.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we have a couple of things we want to talk about before we get out of here tonight. Fantastic show this evening. Thanks so much for joining us, both of you. I know myself, Ed, and Ron will be seeing both of you in like a couple weeks out there in Madison. It's like, I'm like, no, it's not gonna a couple weeks. I mean, no, it's, it'll be here before we know it. Because I gotta go back to work on Monday to teach. So then my everything just disappears. All my free time disappears, and I gotta teach kids. And then I'm gonna be like, oh my God.
I better get some adventures written.
Yeah. I was going through the event catalog last night, trying to make my wish list so I could actually play a couple of things because I'm only running two slots for Wardens. So I'm hoping to get into a couple of games because I didn't play any games at all at Gen Con.
I'm running Wardens. I'm running like 3 of my own games. I'm crazy.
Oh my God, Ed. Well, were we picking you off the floor?
Well, I take being a guest at a show seriously. You know,
Yeah.
they're making me a guest, so I'm gonna run a heck of a bunch of games. And
Yeah.
I wanted to do Wardens, but that didn't come up until after I did. I volunteered for the other stuff, so I didn't want to cancel anything.
Matt Archibald says I may go to GameholeCon. I hear Ed Stark is running Birthright.
Yeah, he keeps bugging me about running Birthright, so I'm going to do one.
Nice.
He's awesome. Matt is a huge Birthright fan. Huge. Yeah.
He's a bigger Pickles fan though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you had to ask Matt to choose between Pickles and Birthright. I don't know what he'd say. He's in the chat. He's gonna let us know maybe. But all right. So I think it's time to say goodbye to Mike and Tony. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. It was an absolute pleasure hearing your thoughts on various topics, and we will see all of each other, if not everyone will see each other page. So we can all have a big meetup at that point and say hello to one another. So, all right. We got to get into some other con-specific news. So we'll say goodbye to our special guests. Thanks for joining us again, like I said.
Thank you, guys. I'm looking forward to it. And it's fun. I like, doing stuff, and it's
Thanks
great. You guys did good. So thank you.
Yep. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So.
All right. Well, con-specific updates.
Don't talk about them because they can still hear us when they're in
Yes,
the back.
right. Yes, we don't want to. Yeah. Registration, folks. We are creeping up into the upper 800s. We are well ahead of where we were last year at this time, and so people are just grabbing badges. The excitement is out there. Every day, Ron and I take a look at the registration, and there just was a couple more badges today. So even in the dog days of summer, we are selling badges, which is a fantastic encouragement, I think, from our end, because people are getting excited about it as we enter into the fall months. I think, Ron, you'll have to let me know more specifically. Event submissions are still open. We're going to close the door on that. Is it tentatively October 1st?
Well, the definite cutoff date is October 3rd, but I think we're going to close them sooner because they're going to be. I think we're going to be full. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're getting really close. So if there's any inkling in the back of your mind that you are waiting on a submission, you've been kind of sitting back on it, the window is definitely closing on that because we simply just don't have the time slots and the space to be able to accommodate a whole lot more. So you want to get that in there. Let's see here. Right now, I just checked before we hopped on event totals. We are sitting at 829 events scheduled. So that is a massive amount of events to choose from. There's some events have been sold out, of course, but there's a lot to choose from still. So you want to hop in there and you want to flesh out those schedules once you get that badge and pick from the veritable cornucopia that we have available to you from an event standpoint.
Do we have any events we're particularly promoting tonight? Anything we want to call people's attention to?
Yeah, I actually have some interesting numbers here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up on my phone while we're talking.
Okay, I'm just going to keep going and then just interrupt me when you.
I'm here. So our total number of events, we have more Shadow Dark running than anything else.
More than 5e?
Yeah, if you break down the Shadow Dark mega event into the hourly
Oh, yeah.
slices.
Yeah.
There's 88 different Shadow Dark events that you can jump into, 72 5th edition events, 70 seminars and panels. It's a lot of seminars and panels. There's 60 miniatures events this year, 51 AD&D first edition events, Legends of Greyhawk 28, Castles and Crusades 27, Battletech 24, and then a ton of stuff in single digits. But, Shadow Dark's taking over the world, it seems like. And interesting, I will be seeing the Queen of Shadow Dark later on this week, because as I am in her hometown, we are going to go catch a bite to eat. So very excited about that.
Yeah. Well, I would say hello to Kelsey from all of us. All right. So yeah, that's very interesting. Those are some very interesting numbers. No doubt that Shadow Dark is an extremely popular system right now, and I'm sure it'll continue to be. So that's fantastic news. All right. Also, if you have been paying attention to our YouTube channel and our Facebook presence, we have been pushing out small little videos from our special guests as to a little bit about them personally and their role with Paige. So if the long form content here on the Friday Night Live is not your cup of tea, you want to grab a couple of minutes and watch some of those. They're only like a minute to 3 minutes long, and it gives you more of a sense as to who our special guests are and why they're excited to come to Paige, which is really interesting to hear everybody's perspectives on that.
Yeah, I'd like to throw out something event-wise. I was just doing a quick look, and right now we only have, it looks like, 6 games of Daggerheart playing. I don't know. This one is threatening to become sort of the new hotness, kind of like Shadow Dark as well. It's sold out all over the place. It's the thing that the Critical Role guys are doing. So if you're looking for events to submit, and you are a Daggerheart fan, you might want to do that. If you're looking to play Daggerheart events, I suggest you sign up now, because there are very few seats left in the various Daggerhearts. There, right now, of all the events, there are 5 total seats left in playing Daggerheart that I can see. So
if you look at the events catalog at GameholeCon, like the wait list or the wish list, for the Daggerheart events are far eclipse the amount of seats available. So people are very interested in experiencing what that's all about. It's got a lot of buzz.
It's interesting though, and conversely, we had a poll go out on the RPG collectors discussion and barter group, and it was answered by quite a few people, and it didn't seem like it was capturing the older crowd.
It's not.
Yeah, it did. It's not to say that that's the majority of the people gaming today, because it's not. But it definitely was not something that grabbed them, and it's not necessarily a group that's like, old school or go home kind of thing. It's a very open group to new systems, like very favorable to Kelsey and Shadow Dark and things like that. Just for whatever reason, like the numbers were so far skewed in the poll that it was.
I could speculate a little bit, but I don't know if it's worth anybody's time. I think some people, whether you like them or whether you don't like them, you put Critical Role next to it, and people are like, I'm not into it. Regardless of how good or how bad something is, or how good or how bad the system is. I don't own Daggerheart. I read a little bit about it. I know how the system works. It's very unique.
I own it. I
Okay.
own it.
It's a lot more crunchy than people realize. It's not just a narrative story-based game. There's a lot of moving parts to it and a lot of crunch, but not in the way that you would think of like a Pathfinder or like a Roll Master or something like that. It's very unique. So I think it's innovative in its mechanics. And I think folks that may think of Critical Role as just a bunch of voice actors playing, some kind of like half-assed D&D, they didn't design it. They had designers design this game. So, and it's a very robust system.
Also, I mean, Chris Perkins and Jeremy are both moved over there to work on it. So it's one of the things. I've played a couple of sessions of it now. And
fantastic!
One of the big things I see about it is one of those games where you need to have a good game master and good players.
We couldn't get rid of Tony. She demanded to come back on the program.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So playing it at a convention with a good game master might be a good introduction for you.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like we need more Daggerheart at the convention. Is what it sounds like.
They will sell seats. If you can find someone to enter Daggerheart events, I guarantee you they will sell seats.
All right, Tony, you're the official page whip. Whip us up some Daggerheart GMs.
I don't know if she's listening to us anymore.
She's lost. I don't know what happened.
She's not.
She's done? She gave up?
She's got her camera on.
Yeah, she's there. We could. Oh, she says no. She says she's refusing to do it.
Nope.
We got a nope. That isn't true, she said. What's going on here?
Yeah. That actually, following up. Tony, you should give us some draw steel. Get some draw steel folks to.
She said, "I'm lurking." Roar. I don't know any people. What the hell is she doing? She's out of control. She's over there drinking and streaming like Jenn does.
Tony, do you know we can see you? That you're still alive? Okay, all right.
Sure. All right. Let me get through the news here, folks, as we continue.
I didn't realize you'd put me back on.
Yes,
I said it.
You did, and I was just like la 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 la, just like goofing off over here. It's fine. I don't know anybody who runs Daggerheart, but that doesn't mean I couldn't try to ask around.
Yeah,
and maybe I did get the final rule set for Draw Steel. So
yeah. Hey, I would Draw Steel. If we can give, I don't know if anybody's entered into any Draw Steel games into the system. If we could get a couple of those on the calendar, that would be friggin' fantastic. That's why you got to pull James out of his basement in Cherry Hill across the river to the con center.
Okay. I will see what I can do.
All right, let's finish off the show here, folks. If you were watching this past week, our Facebook group, you would have seen that on August 10th, pre-orders went out for The Tomb of the Ancient Moor King, authored by none other than Ron Meisker himself, which has now sold out. We had 100 copies available, which will be numbered and signed at the con. And there was a bit of like a countdown going down, this many copies left, this many copies left. So if you are someone that did not get their copy, you will be able to soon support the crowdfunding campaign that will allow us to get more copies of that into the hands of folks. But yes, that there are no more left of that initial 100. So I know I got my copy, and a couple of other folks hopped right on that. But speaking of con-specific adventures, our special guest Levi Combs, that has been on the show here, will also be writing a page 3 specific adventure entitled The Iron Cobra of Helgrim Hall. That sounds pretty badass. This will be a 1E OSR adventure. We will be dropping details soon as to how to get your grubby little paws on a copy of that as well.
It's already written and it's with the printer.
So yeah, so this is not just a pie in the sky idea. Yeah, this is going to happen. Yeah, and so that's pretty cool. Let's see. We did announce another special guest this past week, Montel Thompson, who is a content creator, a podcaster, and a self-professed blurticorn, which is a term that he has created. He is down in Norfolk, Virginia. He's going to be, there's Montel right there. You can see. He has a YouTube channel, Navy Montel, which you should check out. I've been checking out a couple of videos on his channel recently. He's a very, very smart man, very erudite, very well spoken, and knows his games and goes to other cons. He had a fantastic synopsis video of PAX Unplugged recently, and so check him out. He will be there at the con for you to meet and engage with, and so we're very happy to have him. And I'm pretty much done. I think that is kind of we're getting very close to buttoning up the show here. So unless there's any additional questions from folks out in the chat, I know we had some questions, but folks always stick around to the end. We do appreciate that. Oh, there's a graphic for the Iron Cobra of Helgrim Hall right there. That's Levi Combs' adventure from Planet X Games. That will be available to you from at page 3. So yeah, everybody loves their con specifics.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. There was one last question.
Okay.
It's to Tony. It's again anonymous stalker. Are you absolutely sure that your appendix was not saved anywhere?
I mean, I don't know what the doctors did when they took it. They, kind of knocked me out, and I got a nice couple-day hospital stay out of it. But I'm pretty sure they didn't save it because it wasn't mutated or anything other than, your standard appendicitis. But, I mean, they could go dumpster diving, I guess.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
All right. Well, Tony, thanks for being with us tonight. You're a good sport. We appreciate it. I'm sorry for any hurt feelings we've created with Jeremy. We'll leave you to deal with that on your own. And
he's tough. He'll be fine.
He's tough.
Yeah.
He's tough.
Yeah. Is Tony? Is he a native Minnesotan?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, so he grew up shoveling snow and ice skating and playing hockey. So I'm sure he's been, tough guy.
Yes, one of his daughters was an ice skater too, and she used to make him go along. So
there you go.
We know he's long suffering. Then we got it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna go. Ed's falling asleep. He's already texted us 3 times that the cat needs to be fed.
Yes,
right.
they need their yum yums.
I gave them food right before this. They're napping right now.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right.
Right.
All right. Well,
Jen, do you want to take us out?
Jen,
Sure.
take us out.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. And as always, we will see you next week. Have
All
a
right.
great week, everybody.
That's all you
Bye,
got?
folks.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night, folks. Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it.
All right.